Good afternoon, members and guests. We ask our guests and visitors in the rear of the chamber and in the gallery to please stand for the prayer. The day's prayer will be offered by guest chaplain Reverend Bob Oshida of the Sacramento Buddhist Church. Reverend.
Honored members of the California State Assembly, it is truly humbling to be invited to join you again in opening the State Assembly. In opening our gathering today, please join me closing our eyes in a moment of reflection. When the Dalai Lama was asked, "What is Buddhism?" he replied, "My religion is kindness." In honor of Mother's Day we celebrated yesterday, and in honor of all of our mothers and mothers everywhere, I'd like to share a reminder of lessons in kindness they have taught us. This was inspired by an article I read, "All I Really Needed to Know About Life I Learned in Kindergarten." I felt that these lessons of kindness were also lessons we've learned from our moms. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt someone. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Take a nap every afternoon. And when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic. Hold hands when you cross the street and stick together. Think what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk in the afternoon and took a nap. And when we go out into the world, knowing it is best to hold hands and stick together. For these wonderful life lessons in kindness, we thank our mothers and mothers everywhere. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
We ask our guests and visitors to remain standing and join us for the flag salute. Join Assemblymember Ting as he leads us in the pledge.
Thank you, members. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Reading of the previous day's journal.
Assembly Chambers, Sacramento, Wednesday, May 4th, 2016. The Assembly met at 7 a.m. Honorable Brian Dowley, Assembly Member 1st District presiding. Chief Clerk E. Dotson Wilson at the desk. Reading Clerk Kathleen M. Lewis reading. The following were placed upon the morning roll call: Ashajian, Allen, Arambula, Atkins, Bigelow, Bloom, Bonilla, Bonta, Brown, Burke, Calderon, Campos, Chang, Chow, Chavez, Chu, Cooley, Cooper, DeBobne, Daly, Daly, Dodd, Eggman, Frazier, Gallagher, Christina Garcia, Eduardo Garcia, Gatto, Gibson, Gomez, Gonzalez, Gordon, Gray, Grove, Hadley, Harper, Hernandez, Holden, Irwin, Jones, Sawyer, Kim, Lackey, Levine, Linder, Lopez, Lowe, Mainshine, Mathis, Mays, McCarty, Medina, Melendez, Mullen, Obernolte, O'Donnell, Olson, Patterson, Quirk, Ridley Thomas, Rodriguez, Salas, Santiago, Steinorth, Stone, Thurman, Ting, Wagner, Waldron, Weber, Wilk, Williams, Wood. Mr. Speaker, regular business dispensed with. By unanimous consent, the regular order of business of the Assembly was dispensed with for the legislative day. Leaves of absence for the day. By unanimous consent, the following Assembly members were granted leaves of absence for the day. On legislative business, Assemblymember Breaux. On legislative business, per diem waived for the 2015-16 session, Assemblymember Baker. On personal business, per diem waived for the 2015-16 session, Assemblymember Beth Gaines. On personal business and waiving per diem, Assemblymembers Alejo and Nazarian. Explanations of absence. Pursuant to the Assembly rules, the following explanations of absence are ordered printed in the journal. Dear Mr. Speaker Rendon, I respectfully request approval to be excused from check-in session on Wednesday, May 4th, 2016, due to legislative business in the 73rd Assembly District. On Tuesday, I've been asked to speak on AB 284, signed by Governor Brown last year, at the San Juan Capistrano City Council meeting, beginning at 5 p.m. The following day, I am honored to have been asked to speak and present awards of achievement to students in the Saddleback College Vets program at their annual awards make Wednesday evening.
Mr. Calderon moves, Ms. Waldron seconds that the reading of the previous day's journal be dispensed with. Presentations of petitions, there are none. Introduction and reference of bills will be deferred. Reports of committees will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Messages from the governor, there are none. Messages from the Senate, there are none. Motions and resolutions. All this. Absences for personal business, Assemblywoman Gaines; for illness, Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia. Mr. Calderon, you're... Mr. Calderon, you're recognized for your motions.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 118 and allow Speaker Rendon and Assembly Members Jones and Williams to have guests and photographers on the floor today. Mr. Williams' guests will be in the area of the member's desk and at the rostrum for the Asian and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month ceremony.
Without objection, the request is granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 45.5 and allow Assembly Members Gibson, Hadley, Jones, and Olson to speak on an adjournment in memory today.
Without objection, the request is granted.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to Assembly Rule 96, I request unanimous consent to re-refer SB 37 VIDAC from the Assembly Water, Parks, and Wildlife Committee to the Rules Committee.
Without objection, such shall be the order.
At the request of the author, please remove file item 173, ACR 169 Dolly, from the consent calendar.
The clerk will note. We will now move to the special ceremony in honor of Asian and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month. Without objection, we will move to file item 64, ACR 125, Chow, for the purpose of third reading. The clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 125 by Assemblymember Chow and others relative to Asian and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month.
Mr. Chow, you may open.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and members. I am pleased to present ACR 125 on behalf of the Asian and Pacific Islander Legislative Caucus to recognize May 2016 as Asian and Pacific Islander American APIA Heritage Month. California is home to well over 5.8 million APIAs, constituting 16% of the state's population. As one of the fastest growing ethnic populations in a state and nation, APIAs continue to cultivate and lead in the fields of art, fashion, business, technology, education, science, government, law, humanities, sports, and entertainment. California's APIA entrepreneurs continue to successfully lead businesses in their respective industries nationally and globally and own 15% of businesses in California. Evidence of APIA settlers in the U.S. dates back to 1763 in New Orleans, Louisiana, where Filipino sailors who worked the Manila-Acapulco trade route settled. APIAs have made significant contributions to the history of California and the United States, including but not limited to building the Transcontinental Railroad, serving in the armed forces, fighting for the United States in foreign wars, organizing the Delano Grape Strike, and advocating for civil rights. Despite all their efforts, APIAs have endured a tremendous amount of hardships, including unjust working conditions, prejudice, and discrimination. APIA Heritage Month serves as a time to honor this history and to recognize how APIAs continue to contribute to all aspects of our society. This month's commemoration of APIA Heritage Month serves as a reminder of the rich culture and diversity that makes our great state. As the many diverse Asian and Pacific Islander American communities throughout the state celebrate APIA Heritage Month this May, I hope you will join the APIA communities in your districts to celebrate our proud history and heritage. With that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote on ACR 125.
Mr. Santiago, you're recognized.
Madam Speaker, on behalf of the Latino Caucus, I rise in support of ACR 125, recognizing May as Asian Pacific Islander American Heritage Month. Latinos have a strong history of working side by side in coalition building with the APIA community. And in fact, in my district alone, it's evident every single day when we see folks in my neighborhood like Little Tokyo side by side with folks from Boyle Heights every single day working on the issues that are important to my district. Likewise in Koreatown, right next to Pico Union MacArthur Park. In fact, several weeks ago, we held hands across Koreatown where Latinos from all cultural backgrounds held hands with Koreans in hopes of making our neighborhoods better. During the 5-year Delano strike, during the 1960s, if we walk back through history, Latino icons such as Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta worked together with Filipino leaders such as Philip Vera Cruz and Larry Eatlong to fight for social justice and workers' rights under the history of one of the strongest multi-ethnic coalitions in the United States that we know now as the United Farm Workers. Today I ask you for your support for ACR 125 to recognize APIA Heritage Month and to honor the culture and history of Asian American Pacific Islander American community.
Mr. Levine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. On behalf of the Jewish Caucus, I rise in support of ACR 125. This resolution provides Californians with an opportunity to recognize the achievements, contributions, and history of Asian and Pacific Islander Americans. For many Asian and Pacific Islander Californians, their family histories go back to Angel Island near the Tiburon Peninsula in Marin County. From 1910 to 1940, the U.S. immigration station at Angel Island processed hundreds of thousands of immigrants. On the walls at Angel Island are stories in the form of poetry written by immigrants who came to America with only a single bag containing their worldly possessions. Many were detained at Angel Island for as long as 2 years. They slept on cots and shared an overcrowded living space with hundreds of people. They wrote that there was no dignity in their immigration experience. During that time, America's immigration policies were based in the National Origins Act. Under the quota system, Asians were effectively banned from immigrating to our country. Today, as a nation, we're being asked to consider immigration policies that repeat that very history. These proposed policies are nothing more than fear-based political rhetoric and must be rejected. As a nation, we must learn from America's dark history of discrimination against immigrants. This resolution gives us that opportunity and reminds us that we must embrace and celebrate our diversity. Let us celebrate California's unique diversity no matter race, ethnicity, or religion. Asian and Pacific Islander Americans are a tremendous and respected part of our California community. I thank the author for bringing this measure forward, and I ask for your aye vote.
Ms. Eggman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise as the chair of the LGBT caucus to also speak in strong support of ACR 125 and thank the API caucus for bringing this forward. When Asians first arrived in this country, they were seen as a menace, oftentimes like the LGBT community continues to be seen now. Even when we talk about simple things like using a restroom, where APIs were at one point forbidden from using them, and now we're having that conversation again as it applies to the LGBT community. We have had a long history of standing together. I'm proud to represent a district with a strong history of API people like Larry Eatlong coming from Stockton, people like Maxine Hong Kingston coming from Stockton, and where our LGBT Pride Center is located is right in the cultural center of Little Manila and Chinatown, where we've always stuck together. And so when we think about the prayer that we offered up today, I would just to say that the LGBT community, the API community, and especially those of us who face the intersectionality of identifying as both, that we have always and hopefully will continue to stick together to make this country a better place. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Seeing and hearing no further debate, Mr. Chow, would you like to close?
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all my colleagues for their remarks. I respectfully ask your aye vote and also ask that the first roll call be open to co-authors.
The first roll call will be open for co-authors on ACR 125. The clerk will open the roll. The first roll is open for co-authors. The first roll is open for co-authors. Clerk will close the roll. 67 co-authors are added. Members, we can take a voice vote on this item. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. For the 12th Assembly Observance of Asian and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month, we will recognize a number of distinguished honorees. I am appointing an escort committee to bring our special guests onto the floor for a special presentation. Members, retire to the rear of the chamber as I call your names. Assemblymember Bonta, Chang, Chow, David Chu, Kenson Chu, Kim, Low, and Ting, and our special guest Senators Liu and Senator Pan. If Speaker Rendon is ready to proceed to the rear of the chambers, if he would proceed to the rear of the chambers, or the front of the chambers, and Mr. Mays to the center aisle. If we can also get the co-chairs of the Joint Asian and Pacific Islander American Caucus, Assemblymember Doss Williams and Special Guest Senator Janet Nguyen, to move to the center aisle to receive our honorees. We will now move to the introductions of the Asian and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month honorees for 2016. The clerk will read.
The honoree for excellence in arts and entertainment is the television show Fresh Off the Boat, represented by actor Hudson Yang and executive producer Melvin Marr. They are escorted by Assemblymember Ting. When ABC's Fresh Off the Boat made its debut in February 2015, it was the first network sitcom to feature an Asian American cast in over 20 years. The top-rated comedy is wrapping up season 2 and has already been renewed for a third season. Set in the mid-90s, 12-year-old hip-hop-loving Eddie Huang and his family continue to settle into their Orlando cul-de-sac and excitedly celebrate all of the important holidays with their friends and neighbors: Halloween, Thanksgiving, and of course, Chinese New Year. Dad Lois has turned the once struggling cattleman's ranch into a successful steakhouse that also offers takeout service. Mom Jessica and best friend Honey continue to work on their investment property alongside silent partner Grandma Huang. Eddie and his preteen posse are navigating middle school angst, complete with girlfriends, mixtapes, and school dances. Middle brother Emery continues to thrive in school and on the tennis court, while baby brother Evan can still do no wrong. Fresh Off the Boat is written by Nanachka Khan, who also serves as executive producer with Jake Kasdan and Melvin Marr. The series is produced by 20th Century Fox Television. Please welcome the honorees for arts and entertainment, Hudson Yang and Melvin Marr of ABC's Fresh Off the Boat. The honoree for excellence in law is Vince Chabria. He's escorted by Assemblymember Bonta. Vince Chabria is a federal district judge in the San Francisco Division of the Northern District of California. He was nominated by President Barack Obama on July 25, 2013, and confirmed by the Senate on March 5, 2014. Before taking the bench, Vince was chief of appellate litigation for the San Francisco City Attorney's Office. In addition to supervising the office's appellate work, Vince was a member of the government litigation team, where he defended challenges to San Francisco ordinances and programs. He defended San Francisco in an Employee Retirement Income Security Act preemption challenge to San Francisco Universal Health Care Program, an Establishment Clause challenge to a resolution passed passed by the San Francisco Board of Supervisors criticizing Vatican statements and policies regarding adoption by same-sex couples and separate First Amendment and equal protection challenges to an ordinance banning tobacco sales in drugstores. Vince was also on the San Francisco Attorney's Affirmative Litigation Task Force, where he served as lead counsel in several matters involving the failure of businesses to pay employees the minimum wages and benefits required by San Francisco law. And he was on a team that challenged California's ban on marriage by same-sex couples. He served as a law clerk to Stephen Breyer of the United States Supreme Court and the Ninth Circuit and the Northern District of California. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in law, Vince Chabria. The honoree for excellence in culinary arts is Kathleen Choi. She is escorted by Assemblymember Kim. Recognized as the Korean food ambassador by her fans and media, Kathleen Choi is a TV personality, celebrity chef, and cookbook author. She's the host and producer of a popular PBS cooking show, Kathleen's Korean Kitchen, the first and only Korean cooking show produced in English by a Korean chef in the U.S. She is also the creator of Asian Voices, the first regional TV show produced in English, featuring Asian and Pacific Islanders' community, culture, lifestyle, and entertainment in Southern California. In addition to being a TV personality, Kathleen also has 15 years of media marketing, business development, and restaurant consulting and background in the U.S. She is the founder and executive director of the Asian Culture and Media Alliance Incorporated, a 501c3 nonprofit organization established in June 2014 to empower and promote the API communities and culture through the media. She has also served 2 terms as the president of Korean Women International Network and currently sits on the board of various nonprofit organizations in San Diego. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in culinary arts, Kathleen Choi. The honoree for excellence in business is Johnny Giles. He's escorted by Assemblymember Kansan Chu. Johnny Giles serves as Executive Director of External Affairs for Comcast Corporation and Vice President of Government Affairs for Comcast Cable, where he is responsible for developing policy positions and advocacy strategies in support of the company's various lines of business. Additionally, he serves as the principal interface between Comcast and the National Asian Pacific Islander Community Organizations and supports Comcast Legislative Affairs Group in working with the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus. A seasoned cable veteran with more than 20 years of industry experience, Giles was recognized in 2010 by CableFax magazine as one of the most influential minorities in cable. He joined Comcast in 2003 and has led the company's government affairs effort in California since that time. Giles has been active within the Asian Pacific Islander community for nearly 3 decades. He currently serves on the boards of several API organizations. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in business, Johnny Giles. The honoree for excellence in journalism is Thuy Vu. She is escorted by Assemblymember David Chu. Thuy is a 5-time Emmy Award-winning journalist, anchor, and program host who covers everything from presidential debates to culinary creations. She currently hosts KQED Newsroom, a news analysis and interview program that digs deeper, taking audiences beyond the headlines and quick sound bites. Thuy's special series on the devastating legacy of Agent Orange sprayed during the Vietnam War won 9 regional and national awards, including National Headliner, Society of Professional Journalists, and a prestigious Edward R. Murrow Award. She was named Outstanding Reporter by the National Alliance for Women in the Media and many other honors. Her passion for journalism has led her to cover the kidnappings of American tourists and the serial killings of young women working for American factories near the border in Mexico, and she's reported on drug smuggling from Canada into California. Thuy has returned several times to her homeland of Vietnam for special reports on the country's political and economic changes since the Vietnam War. She won Emmy and Associated Press Awards for a report on the 30th anniversary of the first Operation Baby Left flight, rescuing orphans right before Saigon fell to the communists. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in journalism, Thuy Vu. The honoree for excellence in science is Suji Nakamura. He is escorted by Assemblymember Chow. Suji Nakamura obtained his BE, MS, and PhD degrees in electrical engineering from the University of Tokushima, Japan in 1977, 1979, and 1994, respectively. He joined Nichia Chemical Industries in 1979. In 1993 and 1995, Suji developed the first Group 3 nitrate-based high-brightness blue and green LEDs. He also developed the first Group 3 nitrate-based violet laser diodes in 1995. Since 2000, Suji has been a professor of materials and electrical and computer engineering at the University of California, Santa Barbara. He is the 2014 Nobel laureate in physics for the invention of efficient blue light emitting diodes, which has enabled bright and energy-saving white light sources. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in science, Suji Nakamura. The honoree for excellence in public service is Bill Wong. He's escorted by Senator Pan. Bill Wong has been active in the API community for over 30 years, starting as a student leader in the Asian American Studies movement at UC Davis, and then going on to a long career in public service as a legislative staff person and serving on the boards of national, state, and local API nonprofit organizations. During his years of service, Bill staffed 6 members of the legislature, including Senate President Pro Tem David Roberti, Assemblymember Judy Chu, and then Assemblymember Anthony Rendon. In his role as staff, Bill participated in the development of landmark legislative efforts to protect communities from hate crimes and budget actions that protected the safety net for California's most vulnerable families. Bill has also served on the California Commission on Asian American and Pacific Islander Affairs, the Sacramento County Human Rights Commission, and the Sacramento City Planning Commission, the Capital Area Development Authority Advisory Board as well. He currently leads efforts to increase the civic engagement and political empowerment of the API community through voter registration, turnout, and the election of APIs to local, state, and federal offices. Bill has appeared on local, state, and national media as a political expert. In addition, Wong dedicates hundreds of hours every year to the recruitment, mentorship, and advancement of API legislative staff. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in public service, Bill Wong. The honoree for excellence in health is Paul Trung. He's escorted by Assemblymember Chang. As a child, Dr. Paul Trung's family resettled in Houston, Texas after the Vietnam War in 1975. Being the youngest of 6 siblings, Paul was fortunate enough to have an education in the United States. He completed his undergraduate education with a bachelor's degree in biology and a minor in psychology. Afterwards, he pursued a medical degree as well as an internal medicine residency at the University of Texas Medical School in Houston. The next 3 years were spent in California and New York for a cardiology fellowship. Paul has been in private practice since 1997. He believes it has been a privilege and a source of great joy to take care of patients and see them through critical moments in their lives. Growing up, Paul's parents raised him and his siblings with a strong religious belief and sense of personal, as well as community responsibility. He was taught to put up the needs with others above his own and to always follow the golden rule. In addition, his career is also strongly supported by a wonderful wife and son. Paul remains very happy with his life's path and is always optimistic of the future. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in health, Dr. Paul Trung. The honoree for excellence in education is Allison Tinciango Cubales. She's escorted by Senator Liu. Dr. Allison Tinciango Cubales is a full professor in the College of Ethnic Studies at San Francisco State University and a faculty member in the doctorate program for educational leadership in SFSU's School of Education. She has published several books and articles that focus on the development of ethnic studies curriculum and community-responsive pedagogy. To respond to the social, academic, and emotional challenges that Filipino-American youth face, Allison founded Pinoy Educational Partnerships, an ethnic studies educational pipeline that creates partnerships and projects that work towards social justice. Every year, PEP sends hundreds of students to college, graduate school, and credential programs. As a part of her work in PEP, she has also developed curriculum with San Francisco Unified School District focused on Filipino language in elementary school, and has worked to get ethnic studies instituted into high schools in the district. Please welcome the honoree for excellence in education, Allison Tinciango Cubales.